Good news, everyone! I have returned. As I'm sure you've noticed, I've uploaded a slew of shorts in the recent month, basically speed running through various regional variant designs. Yes, that was intentional. You see, I participated in a challenge done by Zebraknight over on Instagram. Basically, take a Pokemon, roll a dice. Whatever number you land on, you make a regional form for. Now, since I used a 10-sided dice, I just made 10 into Hisui, since that wasn't on the thing, but you catch my drift. Starting out was rather easy. It was Venomoth, but I got Galarian, so Galarian Venomoth. And realistically, I just looked up various different moths that were within the UK. So Galarian Venomoth worked rather well, because there's something called the Cinnabar moth, and well, it's bug fire type, because Cinnabar. Cinnabar Island is where you fight Blaine and Kanto. Well, not all versions, you get my point. It's very fire associated, which, bug fire. It mostly keeps similar to other Venomoths, but I changed the patterns on the wings. That's probably the most obvious thing, but I also changed a bit of the thorax. You catch my drift. And I honestly just did it because I thought it made a fun Frostmoth counterpart. Number 2 was Dugong, which it's already a really simple design. So when I got Unnovan Dugong, I was kind of stuck. Remember, I had to do this like in a day, because, you know, one per day, and I did this the day before. I ended up going with the Hawaiian monk seal, which I know Hawaiian Alola, but let's not pretend that Pokemon actually cared about Pokemon fitting the region at this point. Leafcutter ants are not American, neither are chinchillas. Once again, I even say it can be probably a crab-eater seal, more accurately, but oh well. And I just made it look more sealish. This Dugong's already such a simple design, so just pure water type, get rid of all the special elements. And I get I could have made it normal type, but just, I didn't feel like it was enough of a change. Normal Dugong could have already been water normal, but they didn't do it, so I figured I'd just stick with that. Now this next one is one I'm particularly excited about, Behem. So you'll notice that Cantonian Behem is more feminine, which is on purpose. You see, when it comes to Japanese aliens, I could only find about like 2 options. It was either Dandadan or Utsurobune, and if you're not familiar with the tale of Utsurobune, I don't blame you. Basically, it goes that a woman washed up on the shore of Japan in a ship that somewhat resembled a flying saucer. No one really knows what it's doing there. There's 4 versions of the story, but one of the theories about it is actually that the woman was someone who committed adultery and escaped, but there's no evidence, so we don't know. And the line's fairy type actually comes from the fact that despite being in a completely foreign land surrounded by foreign people, Utsurobune was extremely kind and didn't really try and do anything, just waited, and was sent back out to sea in the same vessel she was in previously once it was fixed. Not to mention, what makes it perfect for a Cantonian version of Behem is that the place where it happened, Hitachi Province, is in the real-life Kanto region. Like, Kanto is an actual region in Japan, it's not just fictional, it's real. That's just why I love this version of Behem. Next up is rather simple. You see, regular Lumineon pulls inspiration from the freshwater butterfly fish. Yeah, it don't look nice. But, of course, Lumineon takes it a step further by, you know, actually having butterfly wings. But considering it's Gintonian and, well, there's such thing as the Japanese butterfly fish, look, I'm just saying it was a layup. Can you really blame me for taking the easiest option? It's water normal type because I feel like this does justify it. It went from very flamboyant and extravagant to just a fish. It's not like Dugong where it was already extremely simple. No, it's just a fish. It went from pretty to fish. I mean, not to say fish aren't pretty, but you know. Next up is a really personal favorite of mine, mainly because of the second image I made, but Colossian bear tick. So, France doesn't really have polar bears. I feel like that should go without saying. The only bear in the area is the Eurasian brown bear, so I kind of had to look elsewhere. And that's actually when I came across some chocolate-covered marshmallow teddy bears. I'm not sure if it's a thing specifically in France or if it's other places. I'd assume it's other places, like, I doubt it's exclusive, but my point still stands. Also, I just love the pink ice. I don't know why we don't play with pink ice more. Like, it just looks fantastic. Screw the whole, oh, it's pink thing. And no, it looks good. Also, I don't usually talk about the shinies, but like, come on, it's white chocolate. You know, you get the milk chocolate and the white chocolate. Also, the second thing, my chocolatinator. Even has a little NDA sign on it. I had fun with this design. Next up is Paldean Fortress, which, I'll be honest, I had trouble with. There's nothing really explicitly Spanish about bagworms. They just are there. So I looked elsewhere. Considering Fortress' whole thing is that it has a hard shell, I decided to look for alternatives to stone or steel or whatever it is, because it doesn't look like steel, it looks like rock, but it is steel type. You catch what I mean. And that landed me on nuts. I can hear you laughing, cut it out. Anyway, hazelnuts. They're Spanish grown. They're Spanish wild hazelnuts. I almost said coconuts, that was not what I meant. But I felt it work in more ways than just it's a hard shell, because you actually have to break the shell of a hazelnut to get to the edible part, which fits pretty well with Fortress' whole opening up thing. A grass bug type, because, like, let's be honest, it's a nut. It is literally a bug in a nut. There is no other option. Sinoan Firo. Okay, this one I did have to stretch a bit. So there's a thing called the Japanese Eastern Buzzard. Well, it's the Japanese buzzard, but it's also the Eastern buzzard. You know what I mean. But, you know, Sino, Japan, it makes sense. And I'm not sure if you knew this, but buzzard is a term used for various birds across the globe. For instance, what Americans think of when they hear buzzard is probably a vulture, but in reality, a red-tailed hawk is technically a buzzard. And on this one specifically, I kind of took inspiration from turkey vultures as well as the Japanese buzzard. And, like, let's be honest, Firo was destined to be a dark type at some point, like dark flying type, obviously. I mean, Spearows are just such little pricks. Like, they attack you on the Alola Bridge, they attack Ash, they target everything and hate it. They just have a hate boner for existence. You know what? Gotta respect it. Next up is Hawaiian Macargo, which, look, I'm having fun here. It's made on a meme. You see, there's a meme that Hoenn has too much water. Given that Macargo is a fire rock type, it's not liking that. Hawaiian Macargo, our first ever ghost rock type. And I really did have fun with the sort of ghostly shading. I was actually watching a Bonnie John stream while I made this design. I actually am pretty pleased with it. Also, as a final, I got the final laugh. I made its shiny look like water. I know I'm not going to mention the shinies all the time, but if there's a reason to, I'm going to. Hisui and Cincino, probably one of the biggest changes. You see, when it came to Cincino, I was kind of, I had no idea. Cincino is a little maid rat chinchilla. I had no idea how to put that into Hisui, but I did it anyway and just made it that Cincino weren't allowed near human settlements, which means they were more feral and combative to compensate. You know, no longer having shelter means they get scrappier, and so normal fighting type. Also, once again, I know I'm being repetitive, but look at that shiny. It's based on the colors the protagonist wears. I just really thought I'd mention it. Also, its little scarf grows to look similar to the protagonist. Like, it still wants to go to human settlements, but since it's not allowed to, it's just like, it's funny, I like it. Next up, the abomination to mankind I made, a Alolan Miltank. So, actually, originally, this was supposed to be about a specific kind of Hawaiian dessert that made, it was made out of sweet potatoes. I forget entirely what it was, but it was sweet potatoes. And, I actually did switch it because I couldn't find a good way to get across the sweet potato thing, so Alolan Miltank. Miltank are already within Paldea, and when you don't milk dairy cattle, it actually hurts them. It hurts them a lot, and it can even lead to health problems. So I figured a feral population of Miltank that just couldn't get milked would turn poison type, you know. And there's actually a real condition called mastitis. It's basically where, you know what, I can't describe it. Hold on, give me a second. Mastitis is swelling and redness within breast tissue. It's also known as inflammation, of course, and more often than not, it's the result of a clogged milk duct. Henceforth, why I'm doing this. And in some cases, it can lead to infection, which is basically poison to your body. So, a poison-type Alolan Miltank based on mastitis and feral populations that can't get milked. I mean, it fits pretty well. Galarian Sea King, a water dark type, and it's, you see, koi are actually very popular in Britain, specifically for decoration. You know, like a decorative fish that you see it and go, oh, that's pretty, and then never look at again. It's based on black market salesmen and just like when koi get dumped illegally, destroying ecosystems. I mean, it happened in America with carp. Speaking of which, koi are just carp. But you get my point. I mean, it's water dark, obviously. Like, it's also, its little fin becomes a tie, and it's got like a little comb over and like a little, I don't want to say goatee, because it's not a goatee, it's a beard. Its patterns resemble sort of like a human businessman, because that's kind of the whole vibe. You know, I thought it was interesting. And then we have Paldean Whiscash. I absolutely love this thing. So, Paldean Whiscash is Dragon Steel type, which, I don't know, I found interesting. And that's because it's based on the Wells catfish, which is native to Spain. And, it is a very large catfish breed, and its immense size is why I gave it the dragon type. Though, also, the Wells catfish is fairly unique, because while most catfish have venomous spines, the Wells catfish doesn't. They just really hurt, like sharp spikes, hence the steel type. I made Whiscash a Dialga. You're welcome. Also, back to the shinies, it's like a dull gold, because, you know, dragon, royalty, purple gold, it all fits. Next up is Jotonian Delcatty, which, honestly, I do like. So, fun story about the breed this is based on. Japanese bobtails. These breeds of cats have origins tied to Buddhist monks, where basically mice would try and seek out and eat rice paper scrolls, because paper, rice, it's food source. But these Japanese bobtail cats would stop that. So, of course, I had to play on that. It's a normal psychic type now. It constantly holds its knowledge with it. Trying to interact with that is not healthy for your, not healthy for your health. Next up is Hawaiian Hypno, which, I'll be honest, it was difficult. It's based on a tapir and a Japanese yokai, but I can't use the same Japanese yokai, and I can't exactly change it from being a proboscis monkey mixed with a tapir, but there is a fun workaround. You see, Hoenn introduced a lot of weather into the Pokemon franchise, and there just so happens to be a legend called Sandman. While it is mostly European, the Sandman will sprinkle sand to put you to sleep. And since Gen 3 was the weather generation, I'm just saying it fit pretty well. Psychic ground type because of it. Next up is Colossian Claydol. It's ground ghost, and its inspiration, I mean, just look at it. It's creepy, it's off-putting, right? Well, that's the point. It's based on those, like, little creepy Victorian dolls. You know, just the, spooky movie version, you know. I think they're called bisque dolls, at least that's what I heard, but it might refer to just old France. I don't know. But it's definitely something similar. Next up is actually one I'm really impressed by, and it is Colossian Mienshao. So, Mienshao is already pretty just fighting centric. So, a French quote unquote martial art was an easy shoo-in, and that led me to Savate, or Savat. I don't exactly know how to pronounce it, but it's a martial art that, well, sailors who visited Asian seas came back to a French port and, well, they got into fights with martial arts they learned while over in Asian seas. And it eventually adapted and molded into France, and, well, the rest is history. It's why its little head ribbon now looks like it could potentially be like a sailor's hat. It's also why it's kicking and lost its arm ribbons. They're not really there for a purpose. I mean, I also think it goes without saying it's a water fighting type, but you know. Now, Unova Hippowdon, let me just tell you, it's definitely something. It's something, you know. So, fun fact, the Everglades almost had hippos in them. You see, because of a not food shortage, but you catch my drift, America needed a different food source. So, a bill that realistically almost passed, like it was really, 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 really close. Like, I don't think you understand how close. Like, if just a little extra push was it, we would be dealing with Florida hippos. But my point still is, the time that America tried to put hippos into the Everglades by using them as a food source. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain why that's a stupid idea, but just look up a hippo fighting a lion and you'll see why that's a terrible idea. Moving aside from that, it's ground grass type, because its whole thing is like, it's the Everglades, it's mud, it's muck. And don't give me any of that, whoa, Unova's New York. Because let's not forget, Game Freak did not care at that point in time. Like, an electric eel is in Unova. Electric eels are nowhere near New York. Also, I made its front legs look like mud stomper boots. You know, those big old rubber boots that you see clomp, clomp, clomp in those, like, what's a show people have watched? River Monsters episodes. You know, you go into a muddy, mucky area and then you wear those boots to, like, squish, squish, squish your way through. Next up is Paldean Jumpluff, which dandelions are absolutely not unique to Spain at all. They literally have nothing to do with Spain, it's just a plant. Like, I can't even use dandelion tea, because, like, sure, they enjoy tea, but it's not like it's part of their culture. Well, I mean, it is, but you get what I mean, it's not important enough. So I focused on the lion part of the name. You see, the Spanish coat of arms has a red lion on it. A dandelion that's red with a lion head on top that's red. Yeah, it works for me. Yeah, I also gave it cute little fangs, because, I mean, it's trying to be tough, but it's just not. It's also flying dragon type, because why not? Dragonite and Salamence need a buddy. Also Noivern and Rayquaza. We actually have a lot of flying dragon types, now that I think about it. Actually, I'm probably missing one, honestly. Oh shoot, Altaria, yeah, I was. Huh. Well, anyway, moving on. Hello, jealous. But yeah, Alolan Jellicent. I mean, box jellyfish. Literally just, this was the freest option I've ever seen. I mean, it just looks like it swallowed a cardboard box, but it works so well. Also, because it's like a regional variant and I didn't want to do separate versions because, you know, I'm doing this one a day and I got stuff to balance. It's kind of like a gender neutral variant. It's not really as diverse as the other Pokemon. Well, as the other forms, we'll put it that way. It's just kind of a floating box, which, I mean, I don't care. It's poison ghost type because, like, I mean, it was water ghost, and I'm gonna keep one of those typings. And making it poison type just makes sense, because, like, box jellyfish sting, those things hurt, and they can definitely be fatal. So, like, it just made much more sense to make it poison ghost than water poison. Paldean Floatzel. This one was, issued. Floatzel is already just super specific. It's a safety raft and a motorboat, as well as an otter. There's really no difference. Like, it's so specific, it's difficult to come up with something for it. But considering how much Spain was involved in maritime activities and, conquering other land, you know, galleon ships. You know, those big, giant sailboats you see in, Pirates of the Caribbean. That's what I'll go with. Oh, and SpongeBob. Yeah, I just went with that. You know, it's got the sails under its arms that look like little flying things, and then it's got a mast on its head. It's kind of a unique interpretation, but I feel like it works. Then we have Howinian Krickaton. It's bug ground type. There's a thing called the Japanese burrowing cricket, which, I mean, you really think I'm gonna pass that up? Considering it's already uses little appendages to make a harp, if it doesn't have the time for that, better be digging. I also made it look kind of like a stereotypical construction type worker thing. Tough day on the side, I'm gonna go home and take a nice little nap. You know, catch my drift? Antonian Grumpig. So it's psychic dark type. I'm gonna be honest, Grumpig always gave me dark type vibes. I'm surprised it isn't dark type, honestly. But here's the thing. There is a breed of hogs, well, swine, in Japan known as the Kagoshima Berkshire. Kagoshima Berkshire. Yes, we'll deal with that. Also known as the Kurobuta pig. This breed has been called the Wagyu of pork. And with how expensive Wagyu is in comparison to the fact that, like, Wagyu ain't even that good unless you cook it well. Like, honestly, you're better off with something else, because if you cook it wrong, you're just out of money. My point still stands. Obviously, with something associated with wealth, I had to do something, and since Grumpig already gave me off vibes, I just did the thing of, like, greedy kings. It's a media trope for a reason. You know, like early King Dedede, I'm gonna steal all your food. I mean, look at him. He would 100% steal the fries that you paid for. Like, look at that little Okay, I don't want to curse, at least at this moment. So, we'll move on, before I say something I shouldn't. Next is, Alolan Zebraknight, which, I definitely got creative. So I really had to stretch things here, because Hawaii and zebras are just, they are not connected. Absolutely whatever, whatnot, never. Like, they are not in mythology, they are not in, like, literally anything. There was one stupid connection I was able to find. The zebra dove. It's a bird. The zebra dove. It's flying type. My Little Pony. You catch my drift. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I was limited on options. I don't know what to say. Look, if you don't like it, you can take it up with my HR, but I don't. You could do, you know. Look, okay, don't judge me. I was on a time crunch and I didn't have time. Also, like, how the heck am I supposed to do that? Hawaii just does not like zebras. Okay, that's a lie. They probably do like zebras, but like who hates it? Well, no, zookeepers hate zebras. You catch my point. Anyway, moving on. Hawaiian gold duck. So, I'm not gonna lie. Originally, this design was going to be water grass type and pull on the whole cucumber thing, because Kappas like cucumbers. But, I forgot that Ludicolo existed. Yeah, I'm not even gonna pretend. That's on me. That's my fault. Yeah, Ludicolo existing completely slipped my mind, so I kind of had to flip things. One thing Kappas also like is sumo wrestling. So a big buff duck. It's been in cartoons enough. It's fine. Now let's get to Cantonian Xatu. So Xatu is pretty simple. I mean, it's just a bird. If I really wanted to, I could just go and try to make it some kind of Japanese bird, but that just felt uninspired. So I went with the more totem pole spirit animal-esque element of Xatu, and I made it grass psychic type because its inspiration is Nipopo statues, which, from what I can tell, are carved wooden charms. Once again, I don't know the full extent of it because finding information on it is somewhat difficult. I wouldn't say it's extremely difficult, but at least somewhat, which does kind of give me a bit of an issue here. But aside from that, I felt it was relatively easy. Also, just the wooden aesthetic works for Xatu. Also, just because of its sort of totem pole-ish look it already had. So realistically, this is one that it doesn't have the strongest inspiration behind it, but its design is good enough to make up for that. Next on the list is Cantonian Chatot. And you'll notice that for most of these regional forms, I kept at least one typing. This is the only one out of the bunch where I dropped a typing. Where I dropped both typings, sorry. It's dark fighting type, because, well, feral parrots, and just pet parrots being released into Tokyo. Basically, the same reason that Raticate and, well, Rattata, as well as Persian and Meowth are dark type in Alola. Invasive species. Relatively simple. But the fighting type actually has another interesting inspiration, which is crows in Tokyo have started attacking people in order to try and get their food. Because, once again, I don't know how many times I have to say it, feeding wildlife is dangerous to your health. Now, the connection between parrot and crow is, I mean, they're both very intelligent species. That's roughly about it. But considering everything, they're much closer in concept than some other birds. Hisuian Bronzong. Now, the issue with Bronzong is, it's already in Hisui, but I didn't want to re-roll it because it technically doesn't have a Hisuian form, and, well, technically it's not a Hisuian Pokemon, it's a Sinnohian Pokemon, or Sinnohin? Sinnohin, that's what I've been calling it, yep. And realistically, I just went with the fact that it'll be a brand new bell. It's freshly made, so there's no time for it to meditate and sit for 1,000 years. It's not psychic type yet, it hasn't had time. You know, it's in the past. But I also used Suzu bells, which, I'll be honest, they don't really look like Bronzong, but I mean, bell is a bell. And it's normal steel type because, you know, sound. Thankfully, we don't have that type yet because it just makes it so much easier to put normal on things.
Galarian Lantern. I'm gonna be honest with this. It's water dark type. I basically just said, you know what? I'm gonna take Lantern, make it more of an actual anglerfish. And it worked. Like, legitimately. Anglerfish are ugly little freaks. And I say that fully being an ugly little freak. Like, seriously. They look absolutely clapped no matter where they are in the ocean. Blobfish at least look normal when they're down there. Like, I'm telling you, this thing is a paralysis demon that somehow got brought to life. And I just said screw it and made Lantern biblically accurate. For Sinoan I'm gonna mess that up a lot. Sinoan Swalot. It's poison steel type, and honestly, I had a lot of frickin' trouble with this thing. My first thought was like, I don't frickin' know, water steel bidet? Cause I'm gonna be real here. It's just a mass of purple goo. That's all it is, it's just purple goo. Though I used its sort of idea that it'll eat anything that's not nailed down to add the Katamari inspiration. You know, Katamari, that game where you're a ball that just rolls around picking stuff up because you're sticky. I mean, maybe it's not the best inspiration, but I think it made for a decent enough design. Just a Swalot that just is super sticky and just stuff sticks to it. Making it poison steel type because it's just really good at picking up metal. Look, okay, you try to make a purple stomach blob into something that represents Japan. It's difficult, okay? Second to last is Masquerain. Specifically, Colossian Masquerain. This one was by far extremely easy. Like, literally, it was just bug water because that's what Surskit is, but it's water bug because, you know, flip it, I don't care. The Water Boatman is a specific type of bug that can be found in France. It's what that one scrapped Pokemon was based on. So I just took Masquerain, got rid of its little head fins, and put oars there instead. Cause who's gonna stop me? You can probably tell that, like, at the Bronzong part, I've just been completely losing my sanity. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah. I wasn't coloring within the lines, I was... a lot of shit, you know, just stuff. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you want some more content, and don't forget, please check out the playlist as well if you want to see more from me. But then, the one that made it all worth it, Hisuian Dragonite. Once again, I considered re-rolling because we already have a pseudo-regional in Hisui from Gudra, but sometimes it just gotta happen. It's Dragon Water type because it's a fairly unique typing. I mean, Palkia Kingdra, I think that's it. Oh, Walking Wake. I forgot about that. But this version of Dragonite is based on Toyotama Hime. Basically, it's a Japanese goddess and the daughter of sea deity Watatsumi, I think is how you pronounce it. It has the same name as the big ugly fish from One Piece in a diaper. We'll put it that way. From what I could find, Toyotama is often depicted with a dragon in her artwork, at the very least. Also, there's the fact Dragonite and its entire evolutionary line is semi-tied to the ocean. It just felt pretty natural, in all senses of the word. Also, it's not like human and dragon hybrids are uncommon in media nowadays. I mean, just off the top of my head, there's Natsu. Would Asta technically count? I mean, his is technically a demon, but, like, it's got the same wings, and, you know, that's a topic for another day. Anyway, final time I'm gonna mention a shiny, but just look at it. I figured I'd do the basic shiny thing, at least what I think they should do with shinies, for regional variants. Just make it look like the original Pokemon. And I did that here because, you know, fun. I also gave it, like, a little sweat towel around its neck, just cause, like, why not? Dragonite doesn't really have to change a whole lot, honestly. Despite what people who dislike the new Mega might tell you, Dragonite's perfectly fine as Dragonite. Its goof dragon aesthetic is just what makes it good. Anyway, this is Jay, signing away, forever and always. Bye-bye.